Adventures of Bull Turns Round by George Bird Grinnell. This is a Native American North American tale. Once the camp moved, but one lodge stayed. It belonged to Wolftail and Wolftail's younger brother, Bull's Turn Round, whom lived with him. Now their father loved both sons. He loved the young one most of all. And when he went away with the big camp, he said to Wolftail, "Take care of your younger brother. He is not yet a strong person. Watch him. Let nothing befall him." One day, Wolftail was out hunting, and Bull Turns Round sat in front of the lodge making arrows, and a beautiful strange bird lit on the ground before him. Then cried one of Wolftail's wives, "Oh, brother, shoot that little bird." "Don't bother me, sister," he replied. "I am making arrows." Again the woman said, "Oh, brother, shoot that bird for me." Then the Bull Turns Round fitted an arrow in his bow and shot the bird. And the woman went and picked up and stroked the bird with her face. Her face swelled up so big that her eyes and nose could not be seen. But then Bull Turns Round had shot the bird. He went off and hunted and did not know nothing of what happened to the woman's face. Now when Wolftail came home and saw his wife's face, he said, "What is the matter?" His wife replied, "Your brother has pounded me so that I cannot see. Go now and kill him." But Wolftail said, "No, I love my brother. I cannot kill him." Then his wife cried and said, "I know you do not love me. You are glad your brother has beaten me. If you loved me, you would go and kill him." Then Wolftail went out and looked for his brother, and when he found him, he said, "Come, let's go gather some feathers. I know where there's an eagle's nest," and he took them to a high cliff which overhung the river, and at the edge of this cliff was a dead tree, in the top of which the eagles had built their nest. Then said Wolftail, "Climb up, brother, and kill the eagles." And when Bull Turns Round had climbed up nearly to the top, Wolftail called out, "I'm going to push the tree over the cliff, and you will be killed." Oh, brother, pity me. Do not kill me," said Bull Turns Round. "Why did you beat my wife's face so?" said Wolftail. "I didn't," cried the boy. "I don't know what you're talking about." "You lie," said Wolftail, and he pushed the tree over the cliff. He looked over and saw his brother fall into the water, and he did not come up again. The Wolftail went back home and took down his lodge, and went to the main camp. When his father saw him coming with only his wife, he said to him, "Where is your younger brother?" And Wolftail replied, "He went hunting. Did not come back. We waited for 4 days for him. I think the bears must have killed him." Now when Bull Turns Round fell into the river, he was stunned, and the water carried him long way down the stream, finally lodged him on a sandy shoal. Near the shoal was a lodge of underwater people, an old man, his wife, and 2 daughters. This old man was very rich. He had a great flock of geese, swans, ducks, and other waterfowl, and a big herd of buffalo which were tame. These buffalo always fed nearby, and the old man called them every evening to come in and drink, but he and his family never ate none of those. Their food only was of the bloodsuckers. Now the old man's daughters were swimming about in the evening. They found Bull Turns Round lying on the shawl, dead. And they ran home and told their father and begged him to bring this person back to life and give him to them for a husband. "Go, my daughters," he said, "and make 4 sweat lodges, and I will bring the person." He went and got Bull Turns Round, and when the sweat lodges were finished, the old man took him to one of them. And when he had sprinkled waters on the hot rocks, he scraped a great quantity of sand off Bull Turns Round. Then he took him to another lodge and did the same thing. When he had taken him to the 4th sweat lodge and scraped all the sand off of him, Bull Turns Round came to life, and the old man led him out and gave him to his daughters. The old man gave his son-in-law a new lodge and bows and arrows and many good presents. The woman cooked some bloodsuckers and gave them to their husband. But when he smelled of them, he could not eat, and he threw them in the fire. Then his wives asked him, "What do you eat?" "Buffalo," he replied, "is the only meat for men." "Oh, father," cried the girls, running to the old man's lodge, "our husband will not eat our food. He says buffalo is the only meat for men." "Go then, my daughters," said the old man, and tell your husband to kill a buffalo, but do not take nor break any bones, for I will make it alive again." Then the old man called, and the buffalo came to drink, and Bull turns round, shot a fat cow, and took all the meat. And when he had roasted the tongue, he gave each of his wives a small piece of it, and they liked it, and they roasted it and ate plenty of meat. One day Bull turns round, went to the old man and said, "I mourn for my father." "How did you come to be dead on the sandy shoal?" asked the old man. Then Bull turns round, told what his brother had done. "Take a piece of sinew," said the old man. "Go and see your father. When you throw the sinew on the fire, your brother and his wife will roll and twist up and die." And then the old man gave him a herd of buffalo and many dogs to pack the lodge, and other things. Bull turns round, took his wife, and went to find his father. One day after sunset, they came in sight of Big Camp, and they went and pitched the lodge on top of a very high butte. The buffalo fed close by, and there were many of them that would cover the whole hill. Now the people were starving, and some had died, for they had no buffalo in the morning. Early, a man arose whose son had starved to death. And when he went out and saw the lodge on top of the hill, and all the buffalo fed by, he cried out in a loud voice, and all the people came out and looked at him. And they were afraid, for they thought it was him. Then said the man whose son had died, "I am no longer glad to live. I will go up to this lodge and find out who this is." Now when he said this, all the men grasped their bows and arrows and followed him. And they went up on the hill, and the buffalo just moved out of their path and kept on feeding. And just as they came to the lodge, Bull turns round came out. All the people said, "Here is one whom we thought the bears had killed." Woof. Trail run up and said, "Oh, brother, you are not dead. You went to get feathers, but we thought you had been killed." Then Bull turns round, called his brother into the lodge. He threw the sinew in the fire, and Wolftail and his wife, who were standing outside, twisted up and died. Then Bull turns round, told his father all that had happened to him. And when he learned that the people were starving, he filled their mouths with feathers and blew them out. And the buffalo ran off in every direction. And he said to the people, "There is food, go chase it." Then the people were very glad, and they came to each other and gave him a present. They gave him war shirts, bows and arrows, shields, spears, white robes, and many curious things. The end.